This is your boy, your man's life coach, Rolando. And I just wanted to pause here to chat with you a little bit about your mindset. Did you know that your mindset is your greatest asset? Absolutely. Your mindset is what is going to help to create that perspectives that gives you the edge to live your best life. I like this quote by Einstein, and I'm going to try to say it as best possible. There may be some paraphrasing in it, but Einstein, he said this, and I quote, all meaningful and lasting change starts with the imagination and work its way out. Why I love that quote is that if you are going to create the right mindset, it starts with what you envision. It starts with what you perceive. It starts with examining the lens that you are looking at the world with. And so, as you seek to create that mindset, it will help you to become more adaptable. It will help to create a healthier space whereby you're able to face some of the challenges that you are going to face, right? Anyway, we take it. You know, when we learn how to shape and create the right mindset, it gives us the ability to adjust and to adapt and to fall in line when things don't go the way we normally want it to, right? Because the truth of the matter is that, nobody wants to get up out of bed and hear any bad news, right? So I feel you. I get it. But what do we do when we receive those bad news? When we receive news that a family member might have passed away from, say, an overdose, or a friend, or we had someone who was not well and they passed away, or sometimes we lose a job, sometimes we lose an important relationship, a relationship that we were in for years, and suddenly the person just decides, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. Sometimes we end up going through what we call some post traumatic stress symptoms because depending on what we do for work, sometimes we may have to go to the scene of accidents. You may be a paramedic, you may be a police officer, you may be a medic, all right? And you see a lot of things. You may work in the emerge, you may be a nurse. And all these things, they impact our minds and they impact the lens that we see the world through. Some of us, we may be more empathetic than others. So we take on sometimes the negative energy of others. But what we're talking about now is how do we create the mindset of a champion? How do we do that? Number one is that we want to learn first how to forgive ourselves. We want to learn first how to forgive ourselves. We want to learn how to forgive ourselves so we can let things go. Number two is we want to get away from self blaming because when we blame ourselves a lot, sometimes we don't recognize that it is staying stuck in the blame that's going to sort of erode the capacity of the brain and keep us stuck in what we call the limbic or the lower regions of our brain, that region of the brain that says fight, flight, freeze. And when we're stuck in that region of our brain, it's harder for us to control our emotions or to make good decisions. So we want to see how do we shift that so that we can create a new perspective. And shifting that oftentimes may mean paying attention to our breathing, paying attention to our associations, challenging some of those negative thoughts that we are ruminating on, challenge some of those irrational thinking patterns. And the more we do that, it's the easier it becomes for us to gradually shift the thinking from the lower region of the brain to the upper region of the brain, or the prefrontal gray matter, that part of the brain that is ready to help us to be emotionally regulated and to use our executive functioning to make better decisions. So, your mindset is your greatest asset if you train the mind. It is in training the mind to adapt and to adjust that we create these new perspectives. We create new insight. It's in training the mind that we're able to recognize that, hey, I'm hurting. I'm feeling overwhelmed emotionally. I need to talk to somebody. I need to find a safe space to vent. I need to not isolate. I need to not deny. I need to not tell myself that I'm okay when I'm not. I need to not bottle up my emotions and pretend that I'm somebody that I'm not. I need to start working a bit harder or creating the right mindset. So, how do we create that mindset and preserve that mindset? Number one is we've got to get into the habit of movement, exercise. It could be 20 minutes a day. We want to get into that habit of exercising. Number two is we want to get into the habit of a healthy diet, eating healthier, and being more mindful of what we eat, how we eat, when we eat. Number three is we want to be aware of the people that we surround ourselves with. All right, because if we have a toxic environment or we have a lot of people around us who are negative, it doesn't help us to create the right mindset. Number four is we've got to set some good boundaries, set healthy boundaries and make it priority. Don't be afraid to set healthy boundaries. Number five is be conscious of your sleep pattern, your sleep schedule. If you're not sleeping well, you want to seek to adjust that and adapt to creating a better sleep routine. If you start practicing at least these five things, there are several other things that you can practice, then you will recognize that your mindset will change and you'll create a new perspective. All right. And as you create a new perspective, you start living your life in a healthier, happier way. Always remember this, that mindset breaks a man or makes a man. And it's up to you to create the right mindset that's going to give you the edge. It's going to help you to evolve in becoming the best version of yourself. I want you to think about this as we wrap up our presentation. And this is a quote I want you to think about. It says, "The mind is like a garden of herbs and weeds. The weeds are the negativity, self doubt, and hopelessness. The herbs are optimism, hope, and contentment. These, the one we nurture the most, determines our path and our mindset." I want to repeat that again for you. The mind is like a garden of herbs and weeds. The weeds are the negativity, self doubt, and hopelessness. The herbs are optimism, hope, and contentment. The ones we nurture the most determines our path and our mindset. Remember, your mindset is your greatest asset. I want you to pay attention to your mindset. And if you need supports, you need to get help, connect with someone who can. In the meantime, guys, I encourage you, please like, share, and subscribe as we continue to create a tribe of men who are normalizing conversations about men's mental health. This is your boy, your men's life coach, Rolando. Thank you for tuning into this video. We will see you in our next video. Take care.